of us can't afford lawyers. I get it. It happens. That doesn't mean that you can't have these documents or you can't get them or have something in place. I will tell you that sometimes doing them yourself will result in weird things happening, because sometimes we don't actually understand what we're doing, or we use language that isn't clear to people later on or something like that. So it's not always good to do it yourself, but there are things that you can do it yourself if you want to, okay? So there are self-help centers, probate court offices, there are court forms and instructions online, especially for probate. That's something that you can get a lot of help with and do it yourself typically. There is a statutory general power of attorney for financial and property. This is the place in the Colorado Revised Statutes where it's at, the language. You can get to it and copy and paste it into a document and fill it out and all that. For healthcare decision, there's information and forms at this website. They've got a really nice pamphlet. It's like 20-some pages. It talks a lot about all the forms. There's actually a form, medical power of attorney, that you can fill out and sign, and you can have witnesses, and you can have a notary or not. And in Colorado, it's not required. In Colorado, the medical power of attorney, you can just fill it out, sign and date, it's good. They have to take it. But if you travel or something like that, it's nice to go ahead and get the witnesses and the notary. It's more likely other states will accept it too if you do those formalities, okay? That same pamphlet also has a living will form, just a lot of good information. I think it talks about the medical orders. If you aren't sure what you think about medical care and what you care about, there's some really wonderful tools out there. There's a nonprofit in Boulder called the Conversation Project in Boulder County, and they have a starter kit with some really wonderful questions that are like, it's like a scale of 1 to 5. How much information do you want to know about your medical situation? Do you want to know everything, or do you want to know nothing on a scale of 1 to 5? And that can be really useful to kind of figure out what you care about, and then you can give those forms to your agent, like as a reminder. Like, this is what I said. So when the time comes. There's also another link for the American Bar Association. They have a toolkit as well. I do recommend, filling some of this stuff out. It doesn't have to be binding, but you're never going to know what's going to happen. You can't anticipate every situation, so you really want to just kind of tell your agent, like, this is what I care about. I want to be able to eat ice cream, and I want to understand what people are saying. If I can eat ice cream and understand what people are saying, keep me around. If those things are not possible, let me go. Whatever the case may be, all right? But you got to figure it out so that you can communicate it. And again, the Colorado Funeral Consumer Society, they just have a ton of great information. They also have forms. You can sign up as a member, like I said, and get deals at certain facilities if you need, if your family needs to get you cremated or buried or something. And then these are some low-cost legal resources. On the web, the Colorado Bar Association has a for the public link on the side of the website. If you go there, there's all kinds of brochures about these documents and lots of other things. They tell you about a lot of the legal clinics, when they are, where they are, there's links. There's a lot of really great information. There's also, if you do want to try and find a lawyer, they have a find a lawyer feature where you can go in and you can say, I want, someone who does wills in Aurora, and you'll get a list of everybody who has said that they do wills in Aurora. And you can kind of go from there. So that's kind of nice. Legal Night at Vicasa. They do a legal clinic. You can go in and talk to people. Metro Volunteer Lawyers actually works with Colorado Legal Services. Colorado Legal Services is throughout the state, and then Metro is just in Denver area. Basically, if people meet certain income level sorts of situations, they will help for no fees or very reduced fees to get certain things. They also typically the legal clinics have programs for seniors especially. They get extra funding for seniors, so they sometimes can help seniors for free regardless of income and situations, so that's good. The 2 law schools, you can always see what they have going on. Law schools tend to do clinics and things like that to give the students an opportunity to learn. Then there's also the Colorado Women's Bar Association. And then I'm a little bit biased, So disclaimer, I work with the Senior Law Day events. I help with Boulder counties, and I also help with the handbook and getting it funded and printed. But the Senior Law Day events, we have them in several locations throughout the state. They start early summer. Jeffco's is typically first, around the 1st of June. Denver has one typically at the end of July. Boulder's, we're trying to figure out, but they're all over the place actually. They actually just started one in Pitkin County last year up in the mountains. So there are these events, and you can go, and they have often one-on-one with an attorney where you can just go talk to an attorney for 15 minutes about what's going on with you. They have classes going on, and they give you, a sheet of all the classes, and you can go to these classes. They're typically free or very, very low cost, like $10, and often it's a suggested donation. So if you don't have the $10, they don't care. So you've got the Senior Law Day events, and then also there's a Senior Law Handbook that's available online. And the Senior Law Day and the handbook are kind of related, but the handbook is like 34 chapters, I think, in the 2017 version, and it talks about all kinds of things that are related to these topics. It talks about wills and trusts and powers of attorney, conservatorship and guardianship. It also talks about a lot of other things like Medicare and Medicaid and abuse situations and all kinds of resources in this book. And it's available online free. So if you want somewhere to just start to look at things, that's a wonderful resource. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.